Hey there, folks. Austin Baumgarten here with Keller Williams Realty Northwest Montana and Hidden Homes. Coming here on podcast day. We are on podcast number 5, sitting here in our beautiful office in Kalispell, Montana. And we have a really, really exciting treat because there's something new coming to the Valley. I don't know if everyone knew it or not, but we do have a minor league baseball team that is going to be launching their big new season here in 2022. And we happen to have an amazing person that decided to come down here, a business professional, but also the general manager of the new Range Rider minor league baseball team, and former manager of the Big Mountain Club up on Whitefish Mountain Resort. So anyway, I'd like to introduce Erik Moore. Erik, how's it going, man?
It's going great. Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. Definitely. I was looking this side and then boom, shoot right over. Anyway, we're sitting here because I'm very intrigued. I mean, baseball, I know to me and specifically Ryan Norris of our team, like we've been talking about how excited we were when we found this out, and I didn't find it out quick enough, I guess. But I think one of the big things for me was driving down off the hill from Whitefish and all of a sudden seeing these gigantic lights up over the trees to the right as I was dropping down the hill from Happy Valley, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's what they were talking about. Is that the team?" And that's where it kind of all like just started, and I think that's where we started connecting, via email in the beginning, and I do laugh about it too because where it really started was my wife actually brought me a flyer that someone from your organization had dropped off for ads. And my wife's like, "I think this would be good for you."
Right.
Yeah, and that's where it started. And Ryan's like, "What? What's going on here?" And so anyway, I always feel like things happen for the right reason. And needless to say, all that stuff kind of came to this fruition where we're sitting here less than a month out from, my understanding, less than a month out before opening day.
Yes, sir.
And I guess we want to talk to you about some things and kind of what the organization is doing, who you are, which I'm sure some people might recognize,
Right.
and kind of go from there.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I'd even take it a step further. It's like, how many times have we seen each other out in public at basketball games or coffee traders or a food and beverage place? Or recognize your face.
exactly.
Just-
I know, or sporting events. It was just like, I was like, "It's you." Like we walked in the door and you're like, "Oh, that's you guy." And we started shaking hands. So no, it's good stuff. I like it. It's a small world. I love that our community is that way. We are able to notice people, and that's a really beautiful thing about living in the Flathead Valley. And I know we came from a little bit different places, or a little bit bigger back in the day. So
Right.
it is nice to be that homegrown nowadays. Anyway, I want to go into some questions because the Hidden Home Show, we're always, like I said, trying to discuss different ways that people are involved in the community. We want to find out who the Range Rider organization really is, and not just about what the community, but what the vision is. And there's a lot of different questions, so I'm going to kind of just like pick away at this, and hopefully it's not too much of an interrogation, but we're going to go for it.
This would be great.
All right, so you ready for number 1?
Absolutely.
Perfect. All right, so question number 1. Your backstory and how the Range Rider organization came together.
So backstory would be ownership, which would be the Kelly family. I've known them for almost 20 years. I met them through the Big Mountain Club. Spent many chair rides with them, many rounds of golf with them, holiday dinners with them. So that's how I originally got to know them. And then I've always known that they've been passionate about baseball. I mean, very passionate. They have a summer wood bat collegiate developmental league. They call the Sun Belt League down in Georgia and Alabama. So that is one of their passion projects. And this was naturally like the progression for them. They've always wanted to have a minor league team. Where that would be, we didn't really know, or they didn't know, I should say. But then the opportunity came for an expansion franchise here in the Valley. And, I would say that they jumped at the chance. Pioneer Baseball League has been around since 1939. And, they've been operating on 8 teams for the last couple of years. A 9th team has come online this year, and so we would be the expansion franchise to round out a nice, even 10 teams in the league. It's like I said, a passion project. Baseball runs in their blood. I myself am a baseball fan. I have loved it my entire life. I have coached kids throughout the area. Also coached my own kids. We're I think we're aligned in baseball.
Mm-hmm.
With the Glacier Range Riders, it was a very fast project. I shouldn't say fast project. It's a project that's ongoing still, obviously, right now. We're building a stadium. I should say a venue, since we're not going to just be doing a baseball a team out there. It'll be, events, movie nights, concerts is our goal, a wedding venue, group corporate meeting space.
Nice.
So those are also goals that we have in mind for that facility.
Wow. That's going to be a lot. And we're going to kind of get into this stuff. So a little bit more about the stadium itself, but I know you're in the community, sports, but a little bit more kind of like, where did you come from? How long have you been in the Valley?
20 years.
You've been there, okay. And where'd you come from?
Born and raised originally in Salt Lake City. I spent 10 years in Southern California before I came here.
Okay. My understanding too, I think we talked about this before, but you were into volleyball,
Yes.
and actually like professional volleyball.
Yes, I was a professional beach volleyball player.
So the one thing I wanted to kind of say, and this is we're going to throw you through the ringer a little bit, but so I mean, because sports in general, like I always find that sports really it brings a lot of great things out of kids growing up, and just like that camaraderie is huge, and it's usually the same in almost every sport. There's a few sports that are more like individual. However, I feel like volleyball is very team oriented as well. And so tell me a little bit about like how, I guess, volleyball correlates with this new baseball venture in your mind and the players.
Well, you talk about team. For a team to work, you have to have faith and trust in your other teammates, right? When you take that down to two men, two-man volleyball or two-person volleyball, your trust falls on one other person. So the communication may not always be verbal. It may always just be, mental, which could be, you're getting comfortable. Teammates, like, middle infielders, second and shortstop, they start to have a vibe and they start to gel together. So that communication doesn't really need to be there, but they know where each other's going to be the whole time. And you talk about a team, team sports. I don't think only sports are being taught there. I think you're teaching life lessons. Which is huge. For myself, I have 4 kids, and all 4 of those have been involved in team sports. 3 of them are still, at the high school level. Well, one's at middle school, but they are team oriented. And I think that translates to, those things when you go on further in life. When you come into a job, like say with the position I'm in now, we have a very cohesive team that has to communicate all the time. You can't just work in your silos and talk about what you're doing yourself. You have to check in and see what's going on. This is what I got going on right now. What are you working on? So yes, team. I think sports is one of the most amazing things for kids and for people in general to create those bonds. And it, like I said, it's life's lessons. Even if you're an adult, playing on a softball league. It's a team bonding type thing.
Agreed. Yeah, I like that you said that the life lesson there, because I mean your project is huge. I mean, we Ryan and I actually went out there. You gave us hard hats.
It was great having you out there.
It was awesome to actually see. I mean, this is a big deal for the Flathead Valley. Like how many seats?
There'll be 2,300 fixed seats in the amphitheater bowl, but the capacity will be just over 4,000.
Jeez. Because I saw I remember that my favorite spot of the field actually was that like little grassy knoll that was off in right field.
Sure.
I think that's gonna be a great place for families.
Yep.
Like what a fun place on a summer evening to do that.
Yep. So we'll have those grassy knolls, as you so to speak, on both sides. So we'll have one down right field and left field.
Nice. You better bring your glove. I know exactly. I was like, better bring your glove.
Every adult should bring your glove too.
Oh yeah,
you bet.
Definitely. We talked about the breakdown of kind of like the park size. 4,000 plus people that are going to be able to sit on this beautiful stadium. I know there's going to be lots of vendors. There's going to be just different things that are going to be happening. I know some of that stuff is just like, it's still being worked on. But I think a lot of it has to do with, what kind of workforce. Like how is your hiring process going right now? Like, and who can get a job at this park? Is that something that would be something that you like to share? Is it something you need, or are you guys doing okay with that?
Yeah,
What's up?
we are actively looking for staff. We're looking for stadium operations, which ranges from parking, cashiers, ushers, merchandise store, tickets, to production team. We have a PA announcer already on. We have a play-by-play person already on. So there's but we're still bringing those people on board. We're hitting the high schools.
Nice.
I was just at Columbia Falls High School today. We've been at Flathead. We've been at Glacier. We've done a job fair, a few of them, one at the college, one at the fairgrounds. So the reception's been great. Talking to kids, you get them excited about professional baseball.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty cool. You start out, it's professional baseball. It's a brand new stadium.
Of course, you want to work there.
Yeah, you should,
That would be my dream.
You should
be
come
an
work
intro
it.
job.
The crack of the bat, the smack of the glove.
How
all those
old do you have
things.
to be?
You're 14 years old. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Montana.
Oliver Baumgarten, he's looking for a job. He just turned 14 on Wednesday, and he's literally going like everywhere for applications.
Oliver, come work for me.
Oh, what? Uh-oh. I don't know if he could ride his bike out there. Like, sorry, buddy. You're on your own. I love you. Thank you for sharing that. It's great. Okay. So when I was out there, I think one of the coolest things about the park, too, is the way it's laid out. And there was a plan for that. As far as I know, like when we were talking about it, tell me, because of the views and where it's actually kind of like strategically like placed, can you just give me, like, unpack that just a little bit for me?
Yeah, absolutely. So a traditional baseball stadium, baseball field, the third base runs due north, third baseline runs due north, and first baseline runs due east. So it actually made it pretty simple to situate that on the site because the views just fell into place. If you're standing at home plate looking down third baseline, you're looking right at Big Mountain. If you're looking at first baseline, you're looking right at Columbia Mountain. Center field, you're looking at right at Bad Rock Canyon. So it was almost as if it was just there and ready. For lack of better describing it, it was there. So and also sitting up a little bit higher than Highway 93, so it offers 360-degree views of the entire valley. You can look out and see West Valley out towards Farm to Market to the west. To the south, you can look down towards Lone Pine and Flathead Lake, and obviously on the other side, I just described what you're looking at. So it's almost if it was just meant for a baseball stadium.
So I know that nice hot summer sun, and I was thinking about that poor right fielder on like August 15th night. Do you provide extra shaded sunglasses for them or anything?
A welding mask, maybe?
A welding mask. That's a good one. I like that. Oh, man. I'm just going to go watch it.
That right field is going to be, it's going to be fun to patrol for those players, for sure. You've got trade winds that blow due east out there. Our right field fence is going to be double stacked, so it will be a 16-foot wall,
okay.
Not an 8-foot wall, whereas, left field all the way over to center is going to be, 8-foot wall. It's 406 dead center. So
406. You even said it. 406. And how big is that screen? I know you guys have a ridiculous jumbotron.
So our Daktronics HD video wall is almost 1,000 square feet.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's a big TV.
That's a big old TV.
Yeah.
Cool. Sounds like it's state of the art.
Very. And when you walk in, you'll get that impression that it is a modern stadium. And we hope for it to be something this valley will be proud of, that, to call their own. It's, one team, one valley. So that's what we're striving for.
Cool. That's a good motto. When it comes down to the baseball players,
Mm-hmm.
Where are they coming from? What are they striving for? What does this Pioneer League really mean? Give me a little bit of understanding and background about that.
So Pioneer League has been around since 1939.
Mm-hmm.
We are now coming into our second season of being independent baseball, so we're not affiliated with any teams. So the beauty of that is that we now have a team that is ours, right? So the roster changes, all that stuff is us, our decisions as an organization. So we're not bringing in, if an affiliate comes in and brings in a player and says, hey, get this guy a rehab start, and they pull other players out, that dynamic changes when it's an independent team. So we want to be competitive. The roster answers to ownership. So it's another way to look at that is that these names will be around. We want to get these young men to the next level because that's what they want to do. They don't want to be here in single A ball, which is they want to get that next step.
Okay.
They all have the same dream. Like we, many kids had that same dream. I want to play in the big leagues. I want to be a big league player. Well, that dream has not changed for these guys. they still want to be big league players. And this is the next step.
Okay, I'm a little bit novice in this. Are you recruiting them directly out of college? How are they getting into your organization?
So with our coaching staff, with Skipper Hogan, our manager, and Coach Stu, they've got a beat on different regions of the area. Plus, they have a lot of they've networked. They've been in the game so long that they're networked with other organizations and other colleges, other coaches around the country. So phone calls are being made. Sometimes those coaches are coming to us saying, "Hey, I have a player." So it's not just one method of getting these players recruited. There's many methods, but I'll tell you what, there's a lot of phone calls being made. There's a lot of vetting being done by these coaches to make sure that the organization has a good competitive product on the field and something for the community to be proud of. Like I said, we want to be competitive.
So how many players altogether on the roster?
25-man roster.
Okay. Nice. That's nice and competitive. Where are they all staying?
So host family program.
Okay.
Yep. So actually, we just got them into their host families yesterday.
Nice.
So last night was their first night out of a hotel in the last week. So, which is great, and huge thanks to the community because they've been really great in stepping up and opening the doors to these players. Which it's pretty incredible. I don't know how else to describe it, but at the same time, the opportunity to house a future Major League Baseball player is pretty.
It's a cool roommate.
Exactly. And if you have kids, it could be a good role model. If you have a little league player, something for those little league players to go, wow, this is what it would be like. I want to try to pursue this. So there's twofold. It's a benefit for the player and the organization, but it's also a benefit for that family and being able to have that player because you never know when these players could move on and they develop relationships like Skipper Hogan. He had host families that he stayed with, and he still is in contact with them today.
See, that's awesome. Which
is really cool. So it's not just a hotel check in and check out. There are relationships that are being built there. It's a big responsibility for the host family, but it's also a big responsibility for the player, to create that relationship and establish that respect.
I mean, thank you, community, first of all, for helping everyone out. That's just outstanding. And that kind of ties into it a little bit too. I mean, the community's giving back and stuff like that. Do you have, what do you think the Range Riders will be able to give back to the Flathead?
I think there's a lot that we can give back to the Flathead. Obviously, we want to give them a team to root for the entire valley to root for. But at the same time, we know that there are social obligations out there that we want to fulfill. And being that with different charitable charitable operations that are here, nonprofits. That'll be an integral part of our operation for our first year here, inaugural season 2022. Since we are trying to establish so much on a short time, that will be difficult. We really want to get the baseball product on the field. And in year two, I think more of those things will come online where we get more involved with the community and those charitable organizations that you speak of.
Yeah. No, I know I know Hidden Homes wants to be a part of that as well at some point, and it's just I know it's such a big thing, and I totally understand getting your bearings straight first. It's like let's get this organization going, and then we'll take a step back and reevaluate.
Right.
Because I understand that from running a business. This is a mega business. So, all right, when's opening day? And from my understanding, I'm asking you too, when's opening day? But also, is the team playing before that? And if so, where and when?
Well, technically, opening day is Monday. So our team will be playing in Colorado Springs against the Rocky Mountain Vibes on Monday. Okay. They will be on a bus on Saturday afternoon, heading out of town. We will wish them farewell, and we'll get them back in 3 weeks on June 12th. And our first home opener is June 14th.
Yes. June 14th is going to be a good day.
Yes.
Yeah,
that should be a good week. We'll have a 6-game homestand, and we'll finish up on Father's Day.
Okay.
Which I love Father's Day in baseball.
Oh, But that's magic, and that's that's the thing too about baseball. Like, I know, like everyone. I mean, well, there's probably a division in sports. Some people love football more than baseball. I'm happen to be more of a baseball fan. I feel like it's the true American sport. You can call me out on it. Um, However, it's just there's so much goodness in it, and I found that baseball, no matter what is going on in the world, like be able to watch a baseball game, just like brings it back to like you're here in the moment, eating a hot dog, drinking a beer, drinking a pop, whatever it is, and just enjoying that moment of like Americana.
Yeah,
That's the way I
absolutely.
look at it.
I mean, if we go back to, what was it, 2020, we didn't get a baseball season much, and I really missed it. I always look forward to spring training. I look forward to opening day, and opening day didn't come for a couple months after it was supposed to happen. So, I was thankful that we got baseball back. I'm really grateful that we have baseball here in the Flathead Valley now.
Yeah, soon to come.
Yep.
What's your favorite nostalgic baseball moment, just in general? Do you have one?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how nostalgic it is. We only have to go back about 6 years.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe it is. Maybe we're getting so old that it feels like.
Yeah, it was a certain Game 7 that happened in the fall of 2016 in Cleveland. So, yeah, like I said, not very nostalgic, but as being a lifelong Cubs fan, that was amazing. I mean, what an amazing series.
It was really cool
And
to
I
watch.
think it created a lot of baseball fans, too, out of that series, being dragged out, going down 3-1, 7 games, then going to extra innings in a Game 7. I think there were a lot of baseball fans that were created out of that.
I bet.
Yeah. Another one would be going back to 2005. It was in May of 2005, and Greg Maddux had just re-signed back with the Cubs after being with the Braves for so long. So we got to see Maddux pitch a 7-0 shutout against the Mets. Well, that was pretty cool.
Okay. Those are good. Hey, that's nostalgia.
Yeah.
I love it. Let's talk a little bit about the construction of the stadium.
Sure.
Are you using, who are you using to do the construction? And also tell us a little bit about the facilities for the players, and kind of why the owners chose to do this.
So really, we want to do as much local as we could. So as far as construction goes, we had Archer Excavating out there who did the first Mass X, and they're still out there. Swank is the head GC out there right now. And obviously we've got other local companies involved in that with the infrastructure of the stadium and the electric and the plumbing, et cetera. More on the facility of the stadium. The stadium itself is on a modular level, so it kind of comes in pieces in a way. The bones of the structure is coming from a company back east, but these preformed concrete slabs, like I showed you guys at the stadium last week, those are done here locally by Glacier Concrete. So it was really important for the Kelly family to do as much local as possible. Obviously, sometimes that does not work all the time because we just may not have that ability to get that here in the valley. But the vast majority of this is being done by local, which I think is very important. You hear all the time, spend local, right, in the valley, and I think that's what's happening at the site right now, which is great.
Well, when we were there, that's the thing I thought was kind of cool is those concrete slabs. And you were talking about like how they just like came in on giant cranes and like landed on these pins. I mean that just the engineering of that, seems it was pretty mesmerizing. How big are the dugouts too? Like those dugouts are real concrete when I was there.
Yes, they are.
Huge.
I would say like the dugout top is almost 1,000 square feet of area on the top. So you're looking at like almost MLB size dugouts. They're pretty impressive.
Yeah, I think they had bathrooms in them too, huh?
They do. Each one has a bathroom in it,
Isn't
so
that nice?
the players don't have to leave to go to clubhouse or up on the concourse.
Hooray!
Yeah.
And the thing too, we're in Montana. I mean, obviously our growing season is not that long. We get lots of snow, so I know you're using some sort of turf.
Yeah.
And what does that turf, I guess, provide? Because it can be not just baseball. And I know there's other events that are going to be going on. Like, what else can you do?
Yeah, so on the turf, it's Sprint Turf is the name of the company that we're getting the playing surface from. It is fully synthetic. It will look like there's dirt out there, but there is no dirt. Warning track, base paths, pitcher's mound are all synthetic surface. So it's pretty interesting, unique. if you watch more so football and you see someone get tackled in the slow mo, you see that poof of black, right? So that's like called a rubber infill. So our outfield will have that rubber infill, and then the infield will have a coconut infill. So it will that allows for truer hops on ground balls. So it's pretty unique. At the same time, that mound is removable, and our right field fence is fashioned, to a certain length where actually we could get a football field. We could host a football game in there or a lacrosse game as well. Our goal is to have some youth activities out there, maybe some youth, baseball games, cross town with the Lakers and Glacier Twins type thing.
Nice.
So that's the goal. It's a multi-use facility that's not just baseball, which is kind of cool. We can transform it to other types of events.
And what about the players? I mean, it looked to me like they were going to have, well, I wouldn't say the Ritz-Carlton of, training. Was it training places or just like
Training facility,
all that stuff? But it looked amazing. Like, I mean, it looked close to what professional, like very professional is the way I'm looking for it.
Yeah, and I think that's the goal, because we're not just gonna, we want to not just have the baseball team here in the summertime, but we want to continue to build skills. So having that facility in the off season and in the wintertime, we can continue to work with these young men. At the same time, bring in some of these local youth organizations and hold camps and hone their skills as well. We want to build a facility so that we can have the community in there, and we want to build the game of baseball, right? Mm-hmm. And I think that baseball in this valley is thriving. I've been around the baseball community here for, I want to say 15 years now, as far as coaching all my kids, etc. So I think the excitement is there with these organizations. They want to be involved. A lot of them have reached out to talk to us and see what they can do or what we can do for them. So we're looking forward to after we get this season going and kind of get the ball rolling in a way to open it up and get more of that building the game. Mm-hmm. And that's the part of the community. We're not just a baseball team, but we want to bring the community in and teach them baseball. If it's coaching clinics, we'll do that. If it's clinics with these kids, we want to do that too.
Well, see, that's right there, charitable. Like that's giving back to the community right away. Like that's huge. Watching Babe Ruth and everything around here, they need those facilities and be able to work year round.
Yeah,
I think that's a big thing too, because we get lots of snow. We like to ski, and you can play baseball that night.
It really makes it hard to grow grass out there. That's why we need that synthetic surface.
It sure does.
And it'll help with rainouts. We don't need a tarp. It will drain like a sieve. So no pulling up. It's going to have to be a downpour for us to not have to play.
Cool. I'm going to hold you to that. So the real question is, okay, so your hat, we got Range Riders.
You bet.
Where did that come from? Where did that name come from?
So doing some research, reading some books on the area, some old historical stuff, looking at mountain men. Obviously Glacier Park is right at our doorstep. And we came across a book called First Rangers. Very interesting book. It talked about, and I've been here 20 years, I didn't realize the story behind it. But before Glacier National Park was a national park, it was called the Flathead Forest Reserve. And there were only a few of these First Rangers, Range Riders, they were called, that were patrolling those vast square miles, what is now Glacier Park. So, poachers, forest fires, trail builders, basically protectors of the land.
Yeah.
That's kind of where it came from. And when we read that book, it just seemed
clicked.
like we found it.
Well, when I heard that story too, I was like, once again, those things fall into place. It's perfect. It's a perfect name.
Yeah.
And you get to Range Riders get to see the gateway to Glacier every single time they're playing.
Yeah. So it's pretty unique. It's not many baseball teams that are, outside of a national park in the country.
Well,
which is pretty unique.
And that's I'm very interested to see how your summer goes. There's a lot of people.
Yes.
I believe there's, I know I read, and I'd have to fact check this, of course, but we're somewhere between 5,000 5 and 6 million people went through Glacier National Park last year. I think it was maybe even more.
It's a lot.
It just keeps on going. So how do we find you? Like, I mean, that's the thing is let's get into like, how do we find you personally? How do we get the right person to call for job applications, if so? And how do you get tickets? Website, all that jazz.
So you
Please
can get
let
all
us know.
that at gorangeriders.com. My email address is eric@ridgerunbaseball.com. That's ERIK. Season tickets can be found at gorangeriders.com, as well as single game tickets.
Okay.
Our game schedule is there for everybody to see. So, it's right there for everybody to get at.
Awesome. Hey, Eric, thank you so much for your time today. I mean, I know it's a late evening. You had a long day. You've been working your
I appreciate
butt
you
off.
guys having me.
Yeah, this is going to be great. I'm really excited for June 14th and even this upcoming Monday from afar. Folks, thank you so much once again for joining us on this podcast number 5 of the Hidden Home Show. Reach out to Erik Moore. It's going to be a wonderful baseball season. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment below for us. We'd like to know what else you'd like to hear. If you have any other business professionals in the community that you would like to bring on the show, let us know. We'd love to interview and help promote you. Austin Baumgart with Keller Williams Realty, Northwest Montana, Hidden Homes, Montana. Over and out. Thank you, brother.
Go Range Riders.
Go Range Riders. Yeah.